New DWP state pension age alert, born 1961 1977. You're affected. Were you born between 1961 and 1977? Then you need to hear this because your state pension age might be changing and the government isn't shouting about it. You could be forced to work 2 extra years, and for millions, that means serious financial consequences. In this video, I'll explain exactly what the DWP is planning, who's affected, and what you need to do right now to protect your retirement. Welcome back to UK Pension Update, the channel where we break down the latest news on pensions, retirement, and DWP changes, all in plain English. If you're planning for retirement or just trying to stay ahead of the system, you're in the right place. Let's get into today's update. I know pensions aren't the most exciting topic on the internet, but trust me, the DWP's latest signals are big news. Whether you're in your 40s, your 50s, or already planning your final working years, what's happening behind the scenes right now could change everything you thought you knew about your retirement timeline. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what the government is planning, who it affects, why it matters, and what you can do right now to get ahead of it before it catches you off guard. If you were born between 1961 and 1977, your state pension age is currently set between 66 and 67, depending on your exact date of birth. But that number is no longer guaranteed. In fact, recent reports and official reviews from the DWP and independent analysts suggest that the timeline is being re-evaluated. And yes, this could lead to the retirement age rising to 68 and even sooner than originally planned. Now, officially, the government's current schedule says the state pension age will rise to 68 between 2044 and 2046. And this is the important part, the DWP is under massive pressure to bring that date forward. We're now looking at the possibility that people born as early as 1971 or 1972 could see their retirement age jump to 68. And some experts are warning it could go even further, potentially hitting those born in 1966 and later. That means people who are already in their late 50s could be working an extra 2 years before receiving their state pension. And let's be honest, that's not a minor adjustment. That's thousands of pounds you might be missing out on, and 2 more years of work at a time in life when many are dealing with health issues, caring responsibilities, or burnout after decades in the workforce. One of the driving forces behind this potential shift is something called life expectancy adjustment. Now, you'd think that with people living longer, it might make sense to extend working years. But here's the twist: life expectancy in the UK has actually plateaued, and in some areas, even fallen. According to data from the Office for National Statistics, people in certain parts of the UK, especially in the northeast, parts of Wales, and inner city London, are not living significantly longer than they were a decade ago. In fact, healthy life expectancy in many communities doesn't even reach 66. So raising the state pension age to 68 in those areas? It's being seen by many as deeply unfair. That's why there's been huge backlash to the idea of accelerating the pension age increase. Trade unions, think tanks, and advocacy groups like Age UK have all raised concerns. Even some MPs are speaking out, saying the government needs to consider regional life expectancy, health inequalities, and the impact on manual workers who may not be able to continue in physically demanding jobs into their late 60s. But despite the criticism, the pressure on the Treasury is intense. The cost of funding the state pension continues to rise, especially as the population ages and more people reach retirement. Right now, over 12.5 million people are drawing a state pension, and that number is climbing. Every year the government delays raising the pension age, it costs billions more in payouts. So economically, you can see why they're keen to make the change. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, well, I've already saved for retirement, I'll be fine, here's something you need to remember: the state pension isn't just a safety net. It forms the backbone of retirement income for most people in the UK. Even those with private pensions or workplace schemes often rely on the state pension as a guaranteed income stream to cover essentials like rent, food, and utility bills. Currently, the full new state pension is around £221 per week. That's roughly £11,500 per year. And for someone retiring at 66, that's nearly £23,000 over 2 years. So if your pension age shifts to 68 and you weren't expecting it, you could lose access to that income for a significant chunk of time. And remember, this isn't just about income. It also affects free bus travel, winter fuel payments, and pension credit eligibility. All of these benefits are tied to your state pension age. So if the age increases, the wait for all those other entitlements gets pushed back too. Here's another twist: the government has said it will give people plenty of notice before making any official change to the pension age. But what counts as plenty? In 2011, changes to the women's pension age were rushed through with little warning, leaving thousands of women, especially those born in the 1950s, without enough time to prepare. That scandal is still ongoing today. So understandably, people born between 1961 and 1977 are watching this very closely. First, don't wait for official confirmation to start planning. If you're in that birth year window 1961 to 1977, you should be modeling different retirement scenarios now. What would it look like if your pension age moved from 66 to 68? Would you still be able to retire when you plan to? Or would you need to adjust your savings strategy? Second, check your state pension forecast. You can do this easily online through the government gateway. It'll tell you how much you're currently on track to receive and when you're expected to get it based on current rules. If the DWP does decide to raise the age, your account will eventually be updated, but knowing where you stand now is the first step. Third, if you're still working, now's the time to maximize your national insurance contributions. To get the full state pension, you need 35 qualifying years. If you've had gaps, maybe due to unemployment, illness, or caring responsibilities, you can often fill in those gaps by buying voluntary NI contributions, which can significantly boost your pension later. Fourth, consider private savings. If you're in a workplace pension scheme under auto-enrollment, great, keep going. If you're self-employed or have gaps in pension savings, this is your wake-up call. The earlier you start even small contributions, the better positioned you'll be if the state pension age moves further out. Also, stay politically aware. These changes aren't set in stone yet, and there's still time for public pressure to influence the outcome. Several backbench MPs have already raised concerns, and a formal consultation period is likely. That means there will be an opportunity for public comment. When that happens, make sure your voice is heard. If you were born between 1961 and 1977, your retirement age could be moving. And not by a few months, but by 2 full years. That's time you thought you'd spend enjoying retirement, possibly caring for loved ones, traveling, or simply catching your breath after decades of work. Now, that time might need to be pushed back. But the more prepared you are, the more control you'll have over the outcome. Thanks for watching UK Pension Update. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a crucial pension alert. Got questions or thoughts on today's topic? Drop them in the comments. I read everyone. Until next time, take care and stay informed.